What is going on, guys? Blink here, back with a new guide. I'll be talking about when to peek and push in certain situations, and hopefully you guys can learn something new. Also, the V-Bucks giveaway is still going on, so make sure to visit the link in the description to enter. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications as I post an Amazon gift card code in the comments every time I upload. By turning on notifications, you'll have a way better chance of getting here first and redeeming that code. Anyways, guys, let's get this guide started. A lot of players push when they haven't gathered any information about their enemies, so you see an enemy, don't get too close without taking some of his health off. This can let you know if he has any shield, or you can even take off his shield with the shots you take. Now, to guarantee better hits, wait until the enemy stops jumping or starts whacking at a tree. When an enemy is less jittery, you'll minimize the amount of adjustments you need to take when shooting. If you're great at sniping, I suggest pulling that out first. If the enemy is walking straight, then adjust your crosshair in front of him for a lead shot. With a sniper, you can do a lot more damage in one shot. If you can take off a shield or see that the enemy has no shield, then go for an attempted push. A player without a shield is really weak, and if you can hit your shots, then that's pretty much a free kill. A lot of players push forts that can give you more bad results than good. Now, you never want to push a fort on the tippity top of a mountain, because a lot of the times the enemy has probably saw you and has left you with no health to fight, but also not a great idea in general, especially if the enemy notices and starts building higher. Now you gotta build around his fort and build up, and you're so focused on not falling you can't really see above you, which gives your enemy an easy target. The only times I'd recommend pushing a fort is if you're close and it just starts being built. The enemy will usually be focused on his building and nothing around him. Another time you should push a fort is if there's a fight going on. Those enemies fighting will have less health, which will give you or your team an upper hand. A lot of players peek without giving themselves an advantage. The trick you should all be utilizing is the ghost peek trick, which is hitting the walls around your fort to give you a clear view of pre-peeking targets before popping out of cover to shoot. One strategy to usually guarantee a push is if you can knock down an enemy. If you're playing duos or squads, you want to try targeting one player together, because that will give you a better chance of knocking one down. If you can knock one down, that's one less player you have to worry about. Me and my duo partner targeted one player and took off a significant amount of shield without the other player touching us. As we did that, her teammate tried getting a few shots off on me, but the building stopped any of that. Remember to instantly build no matter what. If you hear bullets whizzing by you, build and don't question it, because the cover you build can save you from taking any damage. So in the process of me building, my teammate got a few shots off him and takes off his shield. So I decided to push, because without that shield, he's super weak. I push him and take him out. I know his teammate is somewhere in behind, but taking no risk, I placed some cover in front of me. Once I located the player, this is where the peeking comes into play. So when should you peek? This player is focused on destroying my cover, and in situations where the player is focused on destroying your cover, that's usually when you want to peek out and take a few shots at him, or even pull out that sniper. So I rebuild my wall to avoid the stairs from breaking, because that can potentially mess up my sniper shot. Then I pop out and take the shot. This works in any situation, in a base, in solos, duos, squads, doesn't matter. If the enemy is focused on your base or your staircase, you want to rebuild that cover, or even just peek out for an easy shot, because he's usually standing in the same spot focusing on shooting your platform. When someone's standing still or exposing a good chunk of their body, go for the attempted shot, because it can potentially be an easy one. I'll show you a clip of why you need to rebuild that front wall before peeking out. So let me take you through this clip here. I wasn't able to revive my teammate, and after the first attempt, I wasn't going to try again, as I would have risked getting pushed, since they know I tried to revive him once, or I would have took damage from not being able to rebuild the walls quick enough. So I leave him and take the 2v1. Now my buddy had minis, and before taking the fight, you need those shields. 2 minis can save you from so much damage. If you got 100 HP and no shield, your health can still get melted. 75 HP with 1 mini is better than 100 HP with no mini. So the first guy pulls out his minigun and focuses on my fort, and he exposes more than half his body. If you're good with a sniper, peek out and take the shot. If not, take a few AR shots at him for a potential knockout. The next guy also ends up focusing on my fort, and what do? I do the same thing, but I didn't end up rebuilding the front wall to my fort. Now I ignored it and go for the snipe, but this gives him time to take out the stairs I'm on too, which drops me to the ground and messes up my aim and exposes my whole body. I got lucky and hit the shot, but if I missed that shot, it could have been a bye-bye for me, as he was super close to taking off all my health. So that's why you rebuild the walls before you peek out. Once he destroys that wall, I should have rebuilt it and then peeked out. So, in this pushing situation, my teammate was focused on a team on the other mountain, and he notices that someone downed one of the other players. So I ended up pushing, because in any situation another player gets downed, that's a potential 2v1 for you guys, or the team that ends up winning the fight might have potentially taken some damage, or is too busy looting the dead team. I end up taking the fight and killing them both. To recap, in duos or squads, a downed can be a potential push. In solos, a player with no shield can be a potential push. This was the last team for the win and the zone was to the left of us. What I noticed was one of the enemy's teammates started pushing towards the zone. It seemed like he was trying to beat us into the zone. If that enemy was able to set his fort up inside the zone before us, then that gives him an advantage. He's got the high ground and it just makes it harder for us to build a fort. So I ended up pushing him to not allow him to set up any fort. I get pretty close to him and notice he keeps re-peeking the same angle with the grenade launcher. So I pre-fire, and as I thought, he ends up re-peeking and taking in the shots I pre-fired, which gives me the knock. If you notice patterns enemies do, pre-firing that pattern can connect a few shots onto your enemy. So after the knock, I go for the push because we have an advantage with the 2v1, and my teammate gets us the kill, which gets us the win. So if you see a guy building a fort, you can go for an attempted push, since he's usually going to be focused on building his fort. Now you usually want to avoid pushing forts, especially if it's on a hill, as they have the high ground already and can do some deadly damage by the time you get up there. But if it's a small base and not really a mountain, then it's a lot easier to make the push. I'll be making a separate in-depth guide for this, so be on the lookout for that. Well guys, that's it for this guide. Hopefully some of you have learned something new from watching, and if you did, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated, as it does help me out tremendously. Also, if you have bought the battle pass, let me know what tier you guys are on, as I'm curious to know. I'm tier 24 and maybe I'm playing too much, but I'll compare it with you guys. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this guide and I'll see you on the next one.